cricket in Rajkot to see the disparity between these two sides on the rankings reciprocated on the cricket field. It doesn't make for a happy reading if you are a West Indies fan. It makes for very comfortable viewing if you're an Indian fan. They made the West Indies bowlers toil. They had their fun. Virat Kohli with the 24th test done. Prithvi Shaw and Ravindra Jadeja with hundreds to savour for the first time in test cricket. And then in 29 overs, it only considered a mixture of method and madness. We saw the West Indies fall to 94 for 6. They are a massive 555 runs behind. It doesn't get any more painfully one-sided test cricket these days than what we've seen. This is ESPNcricinfo Match Day. Ajit Agarkar and Courtney Walsh, and I will go to Courtney first to see if he's got the words to describe these 29 overs of batting that we've seen from the West Indies. Courtney.
Nah, it wasn't what you want expected to see. I mean, some good deliveries were both. I mean, Shami, I think that deliveries to get Brathwaite out was a beauty. And if fast bowlers be happy to see that I sort of produce that type of delivery early doors. But I still expected to see a little bit more fight from the West Indies. And I mean, I'd mentioned earlier that we had two youngsters playing in terms of Ambrish coming back in Netmire. So, the experience and depth is probably not there. But the scoreboard doesn't reflect, at 29 overs, 9-6.
Yeah.
Just not where they would want to be. So
it makes little sense.
As you say, one-sided for India. It makes little sense. It's one-sided for India. I mean, questions will be asked now if this game will be over by tomorrow. I mean, and it will be a fair question based on what has transpired so far. But while, as this saying goes, while there's life, there's hope. So one is still hopeful that the West Indies can sort of
all right.
Put on a better show in the back.
Yeah. I can only imagine how painful it must be for him, for the teams that he's played, or how good West Indies have been. Really poor. Like he said, you want to see a bit more fight. You know that the teams are mismatched. India's way better at this point in these conditions, particularly. But apart from maybe Brathwaite, who got a good one, good length, which he missed from Shami, it wasn't real. It's not that the pitch suddenly started spinning. Okay, it's spinning a little bit more than yesterday. The bowlers, the quality of spin bowlers is different, but really poor from the West Indies. I mean, it's just making life so much easier for the Indians that Virat Kohli towards the end of the day, even stopped one of the spinners and got Shami back. Okay, it was reversing a little bit, but on another day, he wouldn't have stopped the spinner if they were finding it difficult against spin.
I mean, even that what became a bizarre sort of run out almost summed up the mockery that the contest itself had become. But let's critically analyze how that innings went about. Now, it started with Mohammad Shami being effective. For 2 days, we've seen very little help for the fast bowlers, or very little that the fast bowlers have done to make the batsmen seem in any sort of trouble. What was different when Mohammad Shami got the ball?
I think the length. It's more an Indian length. Obviously, he's a lot shorter and skids on a little bit. He's quite quick through the air. But it was the length. On these pitches, I think you don't, you still bowl into the pitch, but the length, it's not, you don't want to be too full because it doesn't swing as much. So you want to be a touch shorter. It was the length which beat him. Obviously, jagged back a little bit. Yeah. And the other one was using the angle from around the stumps. So, but apart from that, I mean, there wasn't anything too much that was happening for the seamers. It was just the length that possibly beat those two openers. But other than that, it was a lot easier for the Indians.
It did seem like he hurried both the openers, Mohammad Shami. Courtney, is this a lesson for the inexperienced West Indies fast bowlers of the sort of length or the type of balls to bowl on pitches like this?
I think the length, as you said, was a good length, but I think also he was consistent, and that is what the young West Indian fast bowlers will have to learn to hit the right areas more consistently, ask more questions like those. And I'm sure that as they play more test matches, they will. But I mean, take nothing away from Shami. He had the ball nipping in nicely, and then even with the older ball, as you saw just now, he was getting some good reverse swing. And once you're doing that, then the batsman will have to think twice about how to play. So, I mean, with his experience, he's proved that even on a flat wicket, he will ask good questions, which is what you want to see.
That's the other thing with SG ball. I think one of the things the West Indies bowlers could do improving going forward or in the next test is if it is so dry or if it's so hard, the pitch, and quite bare, the ball generally reverses at Rajkot. I mean, they got a little bit of reverse, but Indians got it very quickly. I mean, that was the only thing that the West Indies can improve is look after the ball a bit better, because it does reverse in these conditions when it's that dry, and the pitch is quite hard and bare. So that makes a different contest with the batsman, even if it's a flat wicket. If even if there's a little bit of sort of reverse swing
And
happening.
at Rajkot, knowing that ground,
Yeah,
you're
I mean,
almost always going to get it.
when Pujara got out, there was a bit on offer, but you've got to consistently look after the ball well throughout the course of the innings.
Something that will come with experience, I guess, Courtney.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's a point that you made that I want to stress on. It will come with experience, but that's where I think the West Indian bowlers just stuck a little bit because of the inexperience. They did not hit the right areas consistently enough, and to work on that ball to try to keep, maintain the pressure with that whatever little reverse swing they were getting. They got a bit, but it was just not enough, and it didn't stay consistent enough because I don't think they hit the right areas long enough.
What about the approach to spin? Now, there are two ways to play India spinners. United, very few batsmen in the world over are solid in defence when it comes to a very assured or secure of their defence. The likes of Sunil Ambrish, Shane Dowrich, trying some shots. Maybe was that's their best way to survive or the best way to play at that point? Or did there seem a little confusion as to how they wanted to play India spinners?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult.
I think they probably
Yes, Courtney.
were in over of the situation, and probably with it being such a shorter period to bat, they probably got caught into if they should attack or defend. But I mean, you got to have a mindset as a batsman, and I believe that you got to back yourself and back your ability and your skills. And like probably in Amber's case, maybe inexperience crept in there, but Dowrich has been around long enough to sort of, to put up that big shoulder that we know he can, even though he's a short fella. But I just think a little bit of inexperience with Ambrose, and then probably not backing themselves to weather the storm, because what you should be thinking about is that, okay, India have gotten 600, let's try to get at least 300-400 on this week and back yourself as to how you're going to get it. Back the day out and then come tomorrow to reassess again.
Would it be fair to say, Courtney, this scoreboard does not reflect the improved West Indies batting unit that we've seen in the last year or so in Test cricket? This scoreboard doesn't reflect that?
It doesn't reflect it at all. And I mean, it doesn't reflect the ability of the guys, the batsmen that we have there. I mean, if you look at it and you analyse it, the batting depth that they have in this Test match, with the exception of Mr. Jason Ola, because he normally contributes as well, it's just not a true reflection. So I'm sure that is something that they'll be looking at. They will be analysing it, and in reflection, you'd expect to see a much better performance.
Sometimes it can happen when you're in the field for 2 days. 650 have been scored against you. It almost is like the pressure's on the batsman now. You have to score 400 of, like Courtney said, 300, 400 at least, and it can go horribly wrong the other way too.
Yeah, again, lots of inexperience playing in these conditions against quality spin. It's and losing those two openers quickly didn't help. They needed a bit of a start just to get through that 7, 8 over, 10 over period. Might have calmed the dressing room down a little bit. After a point, it felt like a little bit of panic, and everyone's finding different ways to survive, whether trying to play the big shot, trying to play shots, or then defense. Everyone's got their own way. You just have to keep getting better at it, and experience does that.
I'd like to know what on earth happened during the Shimron Hetmeyer run out. What was Ravindra Jadeja doing? It's the weirdest thing I've seen by an international cricketer when the ball is alive and the game is alive. Comical.
Yeah, I mean, he's thanking his stars he's not missed the stumps.
Yeah.
Because would have been a real embarrassing moment. He obviously was quick enough to the ball, created enough confusion between the batsmen, and then the run out was there for the taking. Yeah, took his chances a bit too much. Would have looked terrible if he had missed it. I think.
And Hetmeyer looked all right actually. Then you're having a bit of a laugh as well, Curry. Yeah.
Yeah, it was comical to see. I was hoping he would have missed it
Yeah.
from a West Indian point of view. But Hetmeyer was looking good, and he's been in really good form this season. So that was a big blow for the West Indies for him to get out that way, because he's been one of the guys who've been scoring runs in the domestic season, in the ODIs that he has played, in the T20 games he has played. He's been one of the more consistent batsmen for West Indies this season. So it's time for him to get out that way.
Okay, now it's such a hard time, but test of leadership in that dressing room, Courtney. These boys come in right now, they get into the bus or whatever, 555 behind. As coach, captain, whoever talks to this relatively young group of players, what do you say to them?
Well, you can do one of two things. You can have a nice chat with them right after play this evening, or you could just tell them, like, chin up, heads up, and leave it for in the morning when everything is fresh. But you got to keep encouraging them, because, as I said, the talent and the ability that they have is there. A lot of inexperience happened, especially with this Test match. I mean, you keep going back to
Just trying to re-establish our link with Courtney Walsh in just a minute. Yes, Ajit.
Yeah, it's a tough one, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the first innings of the test. We saw India didn't play well at the start of their test series. Hopefully, all you want to see as a coach or as a team is when they come out in the second innings, the improvement. Now they've seen what the conditions are like. Obviously, it's going to get a lot tougher. The ball's going to start spinning a lot more, but you want to see some fight shown. And not give it on a platter to India.
Yeah, Courtney, we're just re-establishing that link with you. We lost you halfway there. So yes, take us through those thoughts again. How would you approach this when you see these West Indies boys now?
We've got to calm them down and give them that self-belief. There's still a lot of cricket left in this test match, plus also another test match to come and other cricket to be playing. So you can't be too hard on them. I mean, the areas that need tightening up on, you got to really work on that. But for the duration of this test match, you just got to keep encouraging them because, I mean, it's not like the game is over already. You got to still give them belief, give them that self-confidence that they still can get something out of this game. I mean, it's going to be hard for the West Indies to win this test match. It's going to be very difficult to probably even enjoy it, but if they can salvage some kind of pride by improving in their performance, something to play for. So you got to keep encouraging them along those lines.
Yeah, I mean, even bad time, second innings, you can only get better second innings. You hope or think for the West Indies, but bad time, get their guys feel good about playing in India ahead of the second test in Hyderabad. But it seems like that's pretty much all that we can look for in the West Indies.
Yeah, look, I mean, they're still they've got a few wickets still to go.
Yeah.
So if they can hang around, bat a bit of time. Runs you can get on this pitch. It's obviously going to get tougher the second time around because the ball will start spinning a little bit more. But it's still a decent pitch. It's not a square turner. So yeah, hopefully they've learned from this sort of experience in this 29 over period and show sort of better resolve when they come out in the second innings.
All right, many thanks, Courtney Walsh. Ajit Agarkar, continue to get your thoughts as this test match goes on. It's not been a great day for West Indies cricket, but let's hope things get better as this Rajkot test moves forward. We'll join you again 15 minutes before the start of play on day 3 on ESPNcricinfo Match Day. Bye-bye.